You're never gonna see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. Nooses on our neck, with us till we bleed. Hey man, call it Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept upon Precept.
Crew so strange, look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains, so when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression on the pillar, breaking dreams and it's bitter. Ready, set, pull the trigger.
Israel United in Christ. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Live Precept Upon Precept. We've been down for weeks. We got school reconstruction. We got a lot. We had Feast of Dedication, but we got the original crew back. We're your hosts. I'm Captain Shem.
Captain Matthew. Officer Micah.
Officer Mikael.
So all praise to the Lord, to Most High. Excuse me, I'm tired, y'all. Let's put up, like we always do. Where's put up the Booster Club? Cap, real quick. We'll do a front plug.
Boom.
Y'all have seen what the bishops and the deacons and the captains and officers have been doing. We're like close to mission 200. It's ridiculous, and none of it will be possible without the spirit that y'all have to donate to the Booster Club, and y'all donate what is in your most I'll put in your spirit to give. Continue to help push the prophets throughout the four corners of the earth, all over. So all praise to the Most High. Like we always do, donate to the Booster Club. You could text GIVE to 646-982-3858 or hit the QR code PayPal. Y'all, like we always do, before we hit the thumbnail, we're going to go to Officer Micah with the Watchman Report. Take it away.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. It's good to be back. All praises to the Lord. Let's get right into it. It's a lot going on. U.S. seizes oil tanker off Venezuela coast, Trump says. All right, where we go? Where we at? Oh, that's it. Scoop. Trump sanctions Maduro's nephew. 6 ships carrying Venezuelan oil. Can't make it up. Hey, this is Zebulon right here. Camar Abrego Garcia released from immigration detention after court order. Brother from Maryland got deported. They sent him to El Salvador. He finally made it back. Catastrophic Pacific Northwest floods leave 100,000 facing evictions. I don't think people are talking about this. Scroll up real quick. Just show the picture. Scroll up. Look at that guy. Shout out to Northern Kingdom. All right, go back to the topic. Protesters interrupt Noam hearing with exorcist line. The power of Christ compels you. You can't make this stuff up. Come on. All right, that concludes the Watchman Report. Pray for our team, y'all.
Hey, all praise to the Most High. We have valuable Venezuela, Babylon. Hey, I can't. Could y'all put it over here? I can't see it. I can't see the whole title. Well, as y'all can see, we have Donald Trump, we have the Venezuelan president, we have Vladimir Putin, we have the president of China, as well as Iran. Why? Because these are the major players that are going on in this. In the background, you see the Statue of Liberty is on fire, and we see war because war is imminent. So again, the title is Valuable Venezuela, Babylon the Great in Descension. More to the story. And we're going to get into that more to the story.
Leave the thumbnail up. So now, the reason why we don't have the live, or usually we have it comes to animation, is because some things they deem as being, oh, there we go. All praise to the Most High. I thought, well, sometimes there's formulas that they'll deem something you can't do it, but Venezuela is very valuable for a number of reasons, and you're going to find out why. Get me Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. Leave the thumbnail up there. Leave the thumbnail up there. Because in Nehemiah, real quick, get me map of the Western Hemisphere. Forgot to tell you that one. Revelation chapter 18. This is what's going on.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 2.
Uh-huh.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice,
Yes, sir.
saying, Babylon the Great is fallen,
Right.
is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils.
And so Babylon the Great, when it falls, it's not going to fall in 1 hour. Well, it is going to be destroyed in 1 hour, but it's the beginning of its fall. And I'm going to prove it to you. Get me the map of the Western Hemisphere. And there's a guy, okay. All right, well, that'll have to do. Can they see that on the screen? Okay. Babylon the Great is the United States of America. This is a showing you why they're falling. Okay, there we go. By the way, this map is not accurate. There's no way in hell North America, on that map, North America looks bigger than Africa. Africa is so much bigger than North America. It's ridiculous. Europeans made the map to make it look like things in the Northern Hemisphere is actually larger. Bishop Nathaniel brought that out multiple times, taught many classes on it. The point is that, however, when you look at, and I want everybody at home to pay attention, when you look at Alaska, the USA, okay, you look at Canada and Greenland, that all is considered to be the North America. Central America really is very, very small because Mexico technically, when you look at Mexico, is part of North America. Central America is a group of the Latin American countries, and then South America is absolutely, it's huge, but it has incredible amounts of resources to include minerals, oil, gas, and other commodities. And guess what they have? The key is they have a cheap labor force. So remember that tonight. Pull up the map of Venezuela. Some people they really don't even know where it's at. And we need to, so if you look to the right, Captain Matt knows very well about that country right there, also Micah. That's Guyana. In that we have congregation there. And in between Guyana and Colombia is Venezuela. Venezuela is very, very rich in resources. I'm sorry, pull up Hugo Chavez before I forget. Pull up Chavez.
Classic.
Pull up Chavez because this guy died ahead of his time because he decided to stand up against George Bush. We'll come back to Hugo Chavez. No, yes. So we're going to play this right now. This is, those of you who have been paying attention to this is actually all the news. Also, Micah mentioned it briefly. Recently, a Venezuelan oil tanker was boarded and stolen by the United States of America. And they didn't drop off the National Guard to take care of it. This was a Tier 1 force. And I believe that it was either SEAL Team 6, Green Team, or I think it was CAG, Delta. I think it was Delta, personally. I could be wrong. Or maybe it could be Marine Raiders. But it was top. Play the video. Watch how these guys descend off the is it a Chinook or is it I don't know what kind of helicopter, whatever it is, but
The Black Hawk.
Black Hawk. That's the best one. Play it.
Escalation off the coast of Venezuela. The headline here, this isn't just about stopping drugs anymore. After months of deadly strikes against alleged drug cartel boats in the Caribbean and a massive naval buildup, including with the world's largest aircraft carrier, today the U.S. seized a massive oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
Pause.
This dramatic.
So like Officer Micah said, that's a Black Hawk helicopter. Do me a favor. We got to put this in perspective. Officer Nehemiah, I want you to pull up what does it cost for a Black Hawk helicopter? Okay, there's a movie called Black Hawk Down, which I believe, was that Army guys or
Delta.
Navy guys?
Delta.
Delta.
Yeah, Delta.
And Rangers and Delta.
Right, and
Special ops.
The Rangers came and got him. I thought.
Yeah,
But
they went in there. Delta got shot down.
Right. Speak on it, please.
Delta, they got shot down in Somalia. They underestimated the forces there. They got shot down, and they had to send the Rangers in there. They got tore up pretty bad. They lost a lot of people. They had to send Rangers in there to get those guys out of there. They shot one helicopter down, and then they had to send another one, and they shot that one down as well. So they shot multiple birds down.
Y'all got to understand, when the U.S. is, by the way, an oil tanker is not a civilian boat. It's a commercial, industrial business boat or vessel, and they sent this right here. Read that. Can you see that, Solomon? I don't think you can see that.
The cost of a new Black Hawk helicopter, the cost of a new Black Hawk helicopter for the military is typically between $15 and $20 million per unit.
Damn.
Depending on the specific model and configuration. Used or surplus models can be purchased for significantly less.
Right. So, Black Hawk helicopter. Watch them fast rope down. This is, I'm telling you, this right here. These guys were ready to fight a whole force. They didn't have any. When they hit the deck on the ship, they were not hit with not enemy fire. They weren't hit with small arm fire. They boarded. But watch this. This is this week, I believe. This just happened.
Shows the Coast Guard with support from the FBI and DHS.
Pause. Bullshit. That's not the Coast Guard. I don't know. Did they say the Coast Guard? If they said I could be wrong. That is not the Coast Guard.
That's air assault. That's air assault, right?
That's the school you would go to, but I ain't never seen Coast
Wait,
Guard. move
rewind
like that.
again. That is not the U.S. damn Coast Guard. Rewind it again.
Today, the
Fill
U.S.
up.
seized
Don't get
a
mad.
massive oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. This dramatic video shows the Coast Guard with support from the FBI and DHS executing a seizure warrant on that tanker. Attorney General Pam Bondi says the tanker
Pause. No. Those are SEALs or those are Delta Force? And here's the point.
I like SEALs,
The
Cap.
premier operators and they came on. She might be ignorant, the lady. She said the FBI don't wear fatigues like that I know of. And the Coast Guard, don't they always have to have orange on their ships, right? Right. So what I'm showing you, they were prepared to kill everybody on that ship. Here's the point. So I really wanted y'all to see that online. They're not playing, and this is a lot more serious than I think people understand. Play on.
sanctioned by the United States for years because of its history of taking oil from Venezuela and Iran to support terror groups. President Trump first confirmed the news during a business roundtable meeting at the White House this afternoon.
As you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually.
But hey, my man says a large tanker, very large, largest one ever. Do me a favor. Pull up real quick. This guy be lying. Pull up. What is the largest oil tanker ever seized? It better pull up as this one. Donald Trump, everything he say, he repeats everything 3 times.
We just seized a tanker. It was large, very large. Largest one I've ever seen.
He said, it wasn't really? Okay, Trump, I apologize. There. So maybe you be telling the truth about everything. The largest tanker, wow.
The largest oil tanker ever seized by the U.S. government is the vessel identified as the Skipper, previously named the Odessa, which was seized off the coast of Venezuela on December 10th, 2025.
Yesterday.
Wow. This happened yesterday. So understand that this is very serious. And tonight we're going to dig into what is the reason why the U.S. is about to launch a ground invasion, a ground assault on a South American sovereign country. There's so much more behind, and it's not just the oil. There's a lot more behind it.
Cap, it's the same playbook.
Yeah.
Remember, they went to Iraq and they said, "Hey, there's terrorists over there. Got to go over there and get them." They're saying the same thing about Venezuela.
It's gonna be very, very similar. Is there more on that? I just want to see if they play anything else. Okay. Okay, let it play.
The president went on to warn that other things are happening without going into details. Venezuela holds the world's largest oil reserves, more than 300 billion barrels, more than Saudi Arabia.
Y'all hear
It
that?
is
So what we covered before, it has the largest reserve, meaning they don't have them in barrels sitting on the port. The reserve is under the ground. That is an extraordinary amount of oil. Saudi Arabia had the most. It's actually Venezuela. So keep that in mind. It is oil. One of the primary objectives is oil, for sure. Play on.
essentially sitting on a gold mine, but it produces and sells very little of it.
Pause,
And
that's the point. So keep in mind tonight that you have, pull up the thumbnail one more time. And the reason why China and Russia are interested, because they also want to take advantage of these things. So you have Maduro, which is the president of Venezuela. You have Xi, the president of China, Vladimir Putin, Donald Trump, and then this guy from Iran, I forget his name. But these, China and Russia, they have resources there. Do me a favor, Google this. I didn't type in number of oil refineries, Chinese oil refineries in Venezuela. Somebody Google that. All right, we're going to move on. While you get that, go to the next one. Go to the next one. Y'all, please, at any time, y'all, please. And a lot of this stuff is happening. Matter of fact, I just got a thread on my phone, y'all. Y'all check your basic news feed.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump just said, and he, you know how he tweets international secrets online, that he said that within the next couple of days, the U.S. is going to launch an airstrike on land on Venezuela. He said that on social media.
Dang.
And he probably going to do it because he just said about the biggest seizure. He's right about that. Next one. This is the article.
Al Jazeera. Trump administration says it seized oil tanker off Venezuela coast. Venezuela accuses Washington of blatant theft and denounces act of international piracy announced by Trump.
Pause. Look up piracy. Look up piracy. Because the issue is that when a brown and black and yellow people do it, it's piracy. It's international trials. It's they get all kind of consequences. Piracy.
Piracy. The practice of attacking and robbing ships at sea.
So piracy, but when black Somalians who are poor as hell, or other black pirates steal, they get lit up at sea. they get bombed. The countries gets bombed, but when the U.S. does it, it's seizing a ship, which did not belong to them. So just keep that in mind. All right. Matter of fact, hold themselves not guiltless. Hold themselves not guiltless.
Zechariah
The
11
book
and
is
5.
Yes. So it is murder, but it's also other things. These people here make stuff up as they go and move the goalpost of consequences to places where they'll never have to get in this life. Read.
the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them
Come on.
and hold themselves not guilty.
Right. And guess what? They blew up a whole bunch of ships, and it was found out that some of the ships, y'all, were actually civilians. And you're going to read later on tonight. Irregardless of whether it's just a party boat, a drug trafficking boat, or whatever, it could have been a civil service boat. It's still a non-combative boat, and they did not have any right to do that. And furthermore, after they bombed it, there were 2 survivors on the ship. They bombed it again. I'm telling you, these people, they control everything. They're not even worried about a consequence. And this is being documented everywhere on social media. Read on.
And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
Right. They got the money. They got the power. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
Hey, Cap, they get it by go to Micah 2 and 2.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Micah chapter 2, verse 2. This is how they get their riches. This is the oldest trick in the book. That's why they say, oh, we're in a national deficit. They take things. They rob nations. They get everything by force. Read that.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
They covered fields. They found out, oh, there's a bunch of oil in Venezuela. We want it, and we about to take it by violence. We just going to lie and say that you're a terrorist, because who's going to know any wiser? Who's going to know better? Who's going to question what we do? When the scriptures talk about Esau ruling the earth, that Babylon the Great oppresses nations, they rule nations with a rod of iron, that stuff is not made up. They make sure to act out everything that the Bible say about them. Finish that out.
And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
They are oppressing everybody. If you got something that they want, you better believe oppression is coming in the form of democracy.
Facts, 100%. 100%. Read. Let's continue on. We got to get to the article. Scroll up.
The United States has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
Okay, let's stop. Pull up a map of Venezuela. Mind you, they didn't. It kind of would make sense if they seized it off the coast of Virginia, or near, like, say, a naval base, or off the coast of, say, the Panhandle of Florida. That would kind of make sense. Dangerously close to the U.S. What is the United States doing off the coast of Venezuela to actually seize? It didn't say in the middle of the Gulf of America, it said off the coast. Look at the coast of Venezuela. Okay? It's showing you that they are, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, there are Green Berets. Pull up, do me a favor. I know I'm throwing. I want you to look up Green Beret mission objective. They're called Special Forces. Look up Green Beret mission objective. I can tell you, Officer Micah, Captain Matt, you can tell me. You could break it down. What is the mission, primary mission of the Green Berets?
Well, that's Micah's area of specialty right there.
Go ahead, Micah, bring it out. I know what it is, but I'd rather have you say it.
Yeah, those guys, they're trained to blend in and they're trained to overthrow governments. They are so strategically. They train them strategically. They train them to survive. They learn unconventional warfare. Pretty much, they don't like they can train anybody to go in with a rifle and hey, that's the target. You take out the target. These guys are trained to blend in, to collect reconnaissance, pretty much anything unconventional, like guerrilla warfare. They're experts in it. They take on high risk tasks, and they train them to be smart. They train them to be smart and to infiltrate, gather intel, and they can kill with the best of them, but they are trained to pretty much create subtle chaos and just overthrow governments. That's what those guys are specialized in. Oh, they got it right there.
And to add to that, what they do is they're called force multipliers. They go and they usually run units of 12 teams. They go, I had to research them. They go in, and what they end up doing is they'll train the Afghan army, or they'll train the Venezuelan opposition force to fight for them, thus making less casualties. And they know the terrains, they know the ins and outs, the language of the land. And then several of them have to learn the language that they're going to. These guys are already there. They're already in Venezuela. And some of them, guess what, Cap and officers, guess what? Some are going to be Jake. That will be Puerto Rican, Dominicans, and those are the ones that ESO going to use. And then if there's a problem, we don't know. They ain't with us. They don't know.
To that point, it's something they go through. It's called, look it up, it's called the Q course, Special Forces Q course. They teach them a language. They have to teach them a different tongue to speak. So when they deploy them, they say, okay, well, get Hernandez over there. He speaks Spanish. Send him to South America. Take Tommy over there. Tommy, you speak Russian. We're going to put him in Russia. They train them up on a different language. It's part of the course that they have to go through.
Check this out. I guess this is heavy. It's going to be brought out later on. The most powerful man in the free world, that ESO says, is Donald Trump. Guess who's the second most powerful man in the U.S. government? Guess who it is? The Secretary of State. Interesting. Marco Rubio. Why would you have a native? Pull up Marco Rubio. There's a reason. Trump specifically chose, they already knew what they were going to do before. Q course, yes. So,
but time,
bring it out.
The last part, it says the Special Forces Qualification Course, or Q course, is demanding multi-phase pipelines to become a U.S. Green Beret. Following selection, pretty much they go through selection, covering land navigation, tactics, SEER, survival, evasion, resist, and evade. Specialized MOS training like medical or engineering, language, and culminating in Robin Sage unconventional warfare exercises in North Carolina. They teach them another language. You have to pass it.
Right. We had a video we did earlier. There's a guy named Tim Kennedy, and he was actually, which they're not supposed to say, he goes on there and he says, you give a small team of Green Berets, which I think they said they're rolling 12. They get there, they force multiply, and he said within a year they'll have 9 women, they'll take over the electric company, all these things. That's what they do. They are trained militarily to go in and from the inside take over a country, set up specific things to target. So now this is Marco Rubio. Can you pull up? So he's 54 years old. I want his national. I believe he's a Cuban, native Cuban. Native Cuban, I think. I might be wrong. Maybe he's Dominican. No, he ain't Dominican. He ain't that dark. I don't. Yeah, it's not his fault. I told him.
Wait. Second
Rubio
paragraph.
is a Cuban American from Miami.
There you go.
Yep.
And I can't see. Scroll up. And attended law school at the University of Miami. After serving as a city commissioner for West Miami in the 1990s, he was elected in 2000 to represent the 111th District in Florida House of Representatives. As the Republican majority leader, he was subsequently elected Speaker of the Florida House. He served for 2 years, beginning in November 2006.
Okay, in the interest of time, let's look what he is currently. He has 2 roles. He should be the Secretary of State, and he might be the National Security Advisor. Other than Donald Trump, he is arguably the most powerful man in the United States government. Here's the thing. Why would Donald Trump in 2024 select a Latino or Hispanic? Why would he do that? And it's for tonight's show because Venezuela is the key point for reserves and gas and oil, particularly oil, to take over the entire Western Hemisphere. All right. Before I forget, later on, Nehemiah Akim, get me Golden Dome, get me Canada, the 51st state, and get me Greenland. There's 3 things in the last year, if you've been paying attention to, we covered it on this show. 3 things that actually, okay, you don't have to get it right now. Go on to poll number 2. This is a short video. I just want to hear Trump. I just want to hear Trump again. Number 2. It's kind of a repeat, but
From the standpoint of news, as you probably know, we've just seized a tanker on the coast of Venezuela, a large tanker, very large. Largest one ever seized, actually.
pause. You see how he looked down? He was so proud. Like, he's like, should I say? He's like, yeah, let me just say it to everybody.
Hey, Cap, did you notice the music in the background?
Yes.
It was the Godfather
That's
music.
God.
It was the Godfather music. It's like, this is a mob boss talking right now.
This guy, listen, this guy is the mob bosses of mob boss. And so just remember, you can get out of there. Pull up the Western Hemisphere. Let's understand there's 3 things we're going to revisit real quick. So remember, when you get a chance, map of the Western Hemisphere. I want everyone to see what I'm talking about on the screen. So the map, there we go. Okay. So remember all of the beef that was taking place between, you see, the Netherlands or Denmark, who owns Greenland, and Donald Trump. They were even talking about sending troops to Greenland. It was a whole big thing about it, right? Mm-hmm. Remember, Trump kept saying in the last 6 to 8 months, you got to become the 51st state. We'll protect you. If you don't come with us to the 51st, you got to pay a lot of money. A lot of money to be. If not, it's for free. So he wants to build Israel has the Iron Dome. Trump wants to build the Golden Dome that will cover all of North America. Then you remember, he also had the thing with Mexico. He was going back and forth with the president. This is all strategic. Now, go down a little bit. They got Alaska already. All the things, major problems with Denmark and Greenland, Canada, and Mexico. Now look at Central America. Remember, they took back the Panama Canal. That's the key point there. Everything else is very, very poor, unfortunately. Now, where do you start? You can't just start in the middle of Brazil. Now look, the first country down is Venezuela, the most oil. And they're going to begin to the downward annexing of the whole continent of South America. That's what they're doing. And each of these places, like Chile, like Argentina, they'll go in, set up their puppet government that's going to work for the U.S., and once they get that whole Western Hemisphere, they want to isolate themselves from the rest so to control all of that. Because what Donald Trump wants to do, I'm going to pull up a video, they want to be able to launch a massive future war against China. They're not even worried about Russia. They're worried about China. Okay? So, can you pull up Greenland? Or either Donald Trump. Okay, there's Greenland. That's fine. No, that's fine. Pull up. Just later on. Pull up. Donald Trump wants to take Greenland, and it's going to tell you everything. Don't worry about that, man. Okay, cool. Go to number 3. Whenever you want to know, this is a it says watch naval movements. It's time stamped. It is time. So this is John Karayaku. John was a CIA agent, ex-CIA agent. Okay. No, okay, cool. Number 3. In the meantime, get Judge. Okay, cool.
What's your initial reaction when you started seeing that narrative shift? Because you've seen that playbook before. So what was your first thought?
Well, I've said many times over the years that if you want to know if the US government is serious about attacking a country, always watch for naval movements. This was something I learned early on at the CIA, that if we're really going to
So
attack a country.
Some of you, sometimes we take for granted, the CIA is the Central Intelligence Agency. It is the agency that is used to spy on governments, to spy on people, its own citizens. It gathers intelligence. This is a successful former CIA agent telling us, and you got to search for this stuff. This is not going to be on the regular news. Telling us how you can track when the U.S. is going to topple a country. What better way than the man that worked at the heart, the machine of the belly of the beast, telling you? Play.
We need aircraft carrier battle groups in place. So I said a month ago or so, I said, we're not going to attack Venezuela because we haven't sent an aircraft carrier battle group. And sure enough, we sent the USS Gerald R. Ford and its associated 11 battleships.
Pause. Take a little bit of volume. Is it loud like that for them online, or is it just in here? Like that? Okay. So what I want you to do, just to show you the severity and the amount of money, pull up the USS Gerald Ford, and it's going to tell you this. Out of those 11 battleships, those are not like little love boats. These things are monsters, destroyers, and all kind of. That's 11 battleships and the aircraft carrier. This is pretty extensive, and this is parked in the off the coast of Venezuela. Read.
USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN 78, is an aircraft carrier of the United States Navy and the lead ship of her class. The ship is named after the 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford, whose World War II naval service included combat duty aboard the light aircraft carrier Monterey in the Pacific Theater.
Okay, real quick. I don't mean to cut you real quick, Solomon. Construction began on August 11, 2005, when Northrop Grumman held a ceremonial steel cut for a 15-ton plate that forms part of a side shell unit of the carrier. Scroll down real quick. So they started building it in 2005, and I guess they finished in 2012. This is a very new, modern aircraft carrier. Let's scroll down. I want to see the price of this bad boy. Oh, here you go, right there. 12.8 plus 4 points. So you got to figure that's what? That's about 17 roughly 17, 18 billion dollars. Okay.
It's just 4.7 million on research and development. Estimated.
Damn, I just look at that. Captain Master R&D. That's what our research. I didn't realize that. Look at that.
And Cap, not to mention them F-16s they got sitting on the ship.
Yeah.
That's just the cost of the ship.
Hey,
the planes that's on the ship.
Hey, on that point, look up the cost of an F-16, and let's find out how many F-16s are on that ship, because that's a hell of a point. I didn't think about that. That's a hell of a point. Cost of an F-16, $60 to $70 million. Okay.
Damn.
Or potentially
Around
60,
30
70.
million for newer models like Block 70, 72 to potentially over 60 to 70 million with advanced systems. While older used F-16s might cost under 20 million. Man,
Yeah, only
Just
20,
under 20,
only
you know,
20,
just 20 million.
it's just 20 mil.
Go type. Let's go back to the Wikipedia. I want to know how many F-16s. You could do AI over it. What is the number of F-16s that are on the Gerald Ford? And it probably gives us an approximation. I bet you it's probably 50 of them bad boys. Might not say it. That's probably more expensive. F-18. How many F-18s? If you can find it, see if you can find that on the side. Let's. Okay, well, it's probably something more expensive. 35 too. Damn. You type in what. Let's see. Damn. Wow. So we can assume it's probably billions of dollars worth of high-end, sophisticated jet planes. So let's just know that. So the U.S. is sending billions and billions of dollars of floating metal out into the sea. And the CIA agent just said, you can track a future toppling of a government, of a country, when the U.S. Navy has a fleet and carrier off the coast. And that's exactly what's going on right now. So we're living in a time right now that the U.S. is going to attack Venezuela right now.
Yep.
And this is, as of yesterday, they seized a tanker yesterday. So don't be surprised, y'all. We living in the last days. Play the CIA guy again.
Supply ships, and I said, oh, dang it. Now we're serious. At the same time, though, Mario, you have to look at what the upside is for the United States. And I'm not seeing an upside. We're not at war with Venezuela. We have made a policy decision to not buy Venezuelan oil and to not refine Venezuelan oil anymore. So I don't see what the upside.
Did y'all find, I know I did not prepare this, did y'all find the number of Chinese refineries in Venezuela? Google the number of Chinese refineries. The reason why China and Russia are there, just like Russia invested in Eastern Africa and highways and roads, huge amounts of money on not Western, but Eastern Africa, they're doing the same thing in Venezuela. And so China has a vested interest in what happens in Venezuela because they got a whole bunch of money tied up in investments. And guess what? You don't think Russia's involved too? Russia is also involved. Well, you got something. That's not. I don't think AI has that information yet. Maybe they're in development, but so it's got to be something else. There's something. Anyways, no problem. We gotta move on. So we'll y'all read the rest of the article on your own. We finished the timestamp for CIA. Okay, finish that out, and then I want you to go to. After that, I want you to jump to number 6, geopolitical. This young man, dropped some heavy information.
To this is, you would think that if the administration wants to get rid of Venezuelan refugees or Venezuelan immigrants, it would want to actually strengthen the economy of Venezuela and encourage them to go back. But that's really not what we're seeing. So this, from a policy perspective, this doesn't make much sense to me. And you know what, let me add 2 other things. One is drugs. We're hearing a lot in the United States about Venezuelan drugs. The drugs that are in Venezuela are not Venezuelan. They come from Colombia and they come from Ecuador, and they're transiting Venezuela on their way to West Africa.
All right. So now, this next, we're going to go to geopolitical. This young man can't be more than 35, maybe 38 years old. This guy is, this guy drops a bomb, major bombs. I think I have 2 timestamps, or is it 1? Okay. Y'all sit back. He's going to bring out a lot, and this guy has done a lot of research. The first 4 minutes is a lot. And when Nehemiah, he's going to pull a document. He's going to list a document, okay? Once you see him pull it, I want you to go find it yourself. It should be public access, even if it takes a couple minutes, all right? All right, play this. Y'all pay attention to everything this guy says.
The U.S. government has published a document outlining its new strategy to try to maintain global dominance. This is the National Security Strategy of 2025, and I think this is being misrepresented by many Western media outlets, which are misleadingly claiming that supposedly the Donald Trump administration is planning to withdraw the U.S. from the world. That could not be further from the truth. I read every single word of this document, and today I'm going to be explaining the most important.
This guy, this is a very good source. Y'all check this guy out, all right? Now, this was just published last month, and we're only early December. And what he's about to drop, and Trump had to be labeling this himself. You're gonna hear this. Matter of fact, before you move on and get that, pull up the Monroe Doctrine. We've covered it before. The Monroe Doctrine. This is going to be boring for some of y'all tonight. The Monroe Doctrine. What is the Monroe Doctrine? Okay, let's put it on the screen. Can they say, there we go. Read that.
The Monroe Doctrine, declared by President James Monroe in 1823, was a U.S. policy warning European powers against further colonization or interference in the Americas, establishing the Western Hemisphere as a distinct sphere of influence for the U.S.
Pause. That's all we need. Basically, it says the Monroe Doctrine says that anything to do with Alaska, Canada, Greenland, North America, Central and South belongs to the U.S. And that was actually a written document, the Monroe Doctrine, after the Edomite president, almost 200, damn near over 200 years ago. So keep that in mind. He's about to talk about what Donald Trump's doing. Okay, you hear that a lot in politics. The Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine. Donald Trump is literally doing the same thing, and people are missing it.
In short, what this document essentially shows is that the United States sees China as the main threat to its global dominance. However, Washington recognizes that China is now too powerful militarily, politically, and especially economically for the U.S. to actually wage a war against China. So instead, the U.S. has to change strategy. In the short term, what the U.S. wants to try to do is to decouple economically from China by developing a new supply chain, and that supply chain will be located in the Western.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. What he just said, and you really think about it, is think about this. Let's really think about it. I was at a lady's house today, and we were talking. I'm a consultant. We're talking, and I said, and she said, oh, I went shopping today. I'm talking to the old lady. And I said, hey, just joking. I said, how many things you got in that bag you think is made from China? The lady pulled out 10 things out of her bag. Every single thing she bought, this is Edomite, was made in China. Everything. So what's happening is the powers that be realize that we have to unplug from China. So where do you think they're going to set up their factories and all their other cheap labor? Why do you think when it talks about the 11th hour, brothers, I think you understand that the Lord is going to make it very hard for our beloved Northern Kingdom tribes. If you want to create that cheap labor so that Esau and this side of the earth can keep living the way he's living, you're going to have to mass produce things like they do in China at a scale level for a very low wage. And guess what? It's not going to be be people living in the United States of America. And they're going to keep a certain amount of fruit pickers and stuff. They're going to keep them here, a certain amount of CNAs but guess what? Central America has. And I pray the Lord the Most High have mercy. This is what's about to this is happening now. And we're asleep. We're absolutely asleep.
Cap, to the point, I had an article. The brother, they sent him. He was born. He came from El Salvador when he was 16. He'd been living in the U.S. ever since. He was married to a U.S. citizen. He just fought to get back. They deported him. So they are deporting a lot of our people to them areas right there where they're gonna get that labor from.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing you're gonna do, just like they did to Judah, Black Americans, during the when they were building the railroads. They would create laws and lock brothers up for job charges like doesn't have a job. He's a vagabond, they would say.
Vagrancy laws.
Vagrancy, right. And check it out. Guess what they would do? Then they would lock you up and do a chain game. And guess what? Black men are the best workers. So guess what? They made a lot of the railroads. And they try to give credit to, now Chinese did come through. They did bring them in, but they weren't forced like we were. So how do you keep Babylon floating for another couple of decades until Christ come back? You have to unplug from China. Y'all go home tonight, right now, tonight. Look at your TVs. Look at the products you have. Look at your cell phones. Look at cans. Look at things you buy. I would argue to say 75% or more, probably more, is made in China. Y'all, I'm telling you, y'all, things are going to get expensive before they get cheaper. And unfortunately, I pray our brothers and sisters wake up because they coming. And there's a lot of land to set up factories there. And there's a lot of resources. And guess what else there is? There's a whole lot of minerals on that land mass. So y'all better, this Edom, they might kill this guy. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't sleep on this dude. Geopolitical. Play on.
Hey, Cap.
Different hemisphere.
They not only.
Hold up, Cap's talking. Go ahead.
They not only doing that in Venezuela, because you know how they do. Like we discussed before years ago, that game Go.
Yep.
Where they surround. In Nigeria, they're doing the same exact thing. They found a whole bunch of oil.
Yep.
They made Nigeria borrow against, for the next 56 years, they borrowed against the oil that is to be sold out of Nigeria. So they're in debt with their own resource to the IMF. It's the same thing that's about to happen in Venezuela. They are about to make a deal or be forced to make a deal, and then they're going to be in debt with the greatest resource at their disposal.
Remember, it said in the beginning they have over 300 billion barrels in reserve, meaning untapped. Here's the thing. The issue, and we're going to hear a little bit later on, is that China, it's not, AI doesn't have it yet. China has investments in Venezuela. Why do you think, Officer Thomas brought it last week, the Polaris sub, which is a Russian nuclear sub, was off the coast of South America. Why? Why would you pull up Russian Polaris nuclear submarine? Not only is Russia, there is Iranian drones in Venezuela in conjunction with Russian subs, Russian troops, small numbers of troops, and also Chinese in infrastructure. It might be the beginning phases. They probably don't have fully built, developed refineries yet. Okay. Russian Polaris sub. Understand this, y'all. If it has a little, there's a visual for you, okay? So it can breach ice along with going hot, warm Caribbean waters. Scroll down. Can you get me something written about it? It's nice. I love the pictures. There you go. There you go. There you go.
The Polaris submarine was a U.S.
No, that's not what we want then. It's not the U.S. one. Anyways, there's a, maybe I'm telling you, maybe I'm saying the wrong name. There's a Russian, okay. Anyways, look up Russian nuclear sub. There's my fault. I said the wrong name. Russian nuclear sub. Poseidon. I said the wrong name. It's a Poseidon, not the damn. So the Poseidon, this thing right here, this is the next level. There's no answer for this, okay? This has the power to create nuclear detonation and create huge tidal waves that will destroy coastal cities. And they have that in the Western Hemisphere. So just keep in mind, why are all the Russian and China and Iran, why are they there? They're there because they see what the U.S. is trying to do, and they're basically saying, listen, this is not a monopoly of world powers. We're somebody too, and they're testing them, okay? Go back to geopolitical. Let us know when we got to take the break. I think it's coming up soon. Okay, right after geopolitical. Actually, let's finish up the first timestamp. We'll come back with 701, the next timestamp.
Cap, can
Americas.
Yeah.
And the U.S.
Can I just read that real quick?
Yeah, I can't even see. Yeah, read it.
Resources of Latin America. Latin America is a treasure house of natural resources. These include mineral resources such as gold and silver, as well as energy resources such as oil and natural gas. In addition, the region is rich in agricultural forest resources such as timber. These resources have drawn people to the region for centuries. Gold, silver, iron, copper, bauxite, aluminum ore, tin, lead, and nickel. All these minerals are abundant in Latin America. In addition, mines throughout the region produce precious gems, titanium, and tungsten. In fact, South America is among the world's leader in the mining of raw materials.
That's the raw minerals. So they know what they're doing. And here's the thing. China has a lot, but if I'm China and I know that I'm almost on par, almost more advanced than the U.S., wouldn't I want to stop the U.S. from controlling their own and make them interdependent on me? This is a war. This is a war. This is a long-hand war. And this is why Donald Trump is trying to get Russia and China out of there, not just for Venezuelan oil. He wants Brazil next. He wants Colombia. He wants everything.
Hey, Cap, I just thought about it. Moab been in the islands in South America for a long time.
Guyana, Trinidad. Yep.
They've been there for a long time, and they have businesses established. They own most of the car parts stores. They own most of the electrician businesses. They own all of the processing of those major resources and minerals and all. They own the processing plants for those things. China been in there for a minute. So when the U.S. comes in there, it's gonna be a fight because China got a foothold in there too.
Yeah, it makes sense now. When we were over there, when you walked into a parts store, it was like you were going into a store to buy like fine jewelry. This stuff was like, yeah, man, they got the stuff locked behind.
Yeah, everything is locked behind a glass. Wow. You want a part, you got to say what part it is. You can't go, like you go to AutoZone and you go down the aisle and you look at things and you try to see if it may fit or whatever. No, you better know what you want when you get in there because you got to tell them what you want. Then they got to go in the back and get it.
I'm telling you, they control that. And Donald Trump, again, is trying to create the Western Hemisphere monopoly. And that was the Monroe Doctrine. Now, later on, he's going to they renamed it. Now, play on geopolitical before we go to break.
The U.S. government wants to impose its imperial hegemony in Latin America and destabilize and overthrow any independent governments in the region.
Pause. Is it just me? That's really, really loud. It might just be me. It's giving me a headache, man. Okay, it's the video? Okay. All right.
That are allied with China and Russia. This is why the U.S. is waging a war against Venezuela. Washington wants to control all of the countries in Latin America to take factories out of China and out of Asia, and instead to nearshore and friendshore those factories in Latin America, recognizing that those factory jobs in China and East Asia, they're not coming back to the United States. Instead, U.S. companies will manufacture their products exploiting low-paid labor in countries in Latin America.
Pause. This is Jacob's trouble. The Israelites are going to go through it. The Israelites are going to go through it. You thought ICE was bad? Listen. There's going to be another level. This is going to be another. This is why we have to gather together, y'all. Come together, take care of each other, help each other, bear each other's burdens. Don't take on a lot of debt. Get land, grow our own food, buy cars you can work on easily, work on building houses and be able to control the things we have so we're gonna have to help some of our people. Okay. Let's how much more we got to go before the first timestamp? Okay, let's finish this out and we'll go to break.
Using minerals and oil and gas and other natural resources from the Americas to create a new supply chain with critical minerals and rare earths, which the U.S. also wants to try to get from Greenland. This is a reason why Trump wants to colonize Greenland, in order to create this large fortress America, as they say, to prepare for conflict with China in the medium to the long term. But this document demonstrates that the Trump administration now recognizes that in the short term, it can't attack China because the U.S. is too economically dependent on China. And by the way, I have to say that all of this is quite ironic because in April 2025, when Trump launched a massive trade war on countries all around the world, the main target of the U.S. trade war was China. At one point, U.S. tariffs on China were more than 140%. And the Trump administration was very arrogant. The billionaire hedge fund manager, who is the head of the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he infamously claimed that China was playing with a losing hand, that by defending itself and retaliating against U.S. economic aggression, China had supposedly made a big mistake because he claimed that the U.S. held all of the cards. But then Washington learned the hard way that that was not true.
Remember what China said before. He read on that page about all of the natural resources that are in South America, much of it untapped. Now he's gonna run the numbers. Well, again, this is I believe current production. China is currently producing. Look at the chart. So we see here. So let's look at copper is essential. Copper. So red, if bar graphs, let's go back to school. Red, everything in red represents China. Everything, China is, when it comes to graphite, they dominate. Manganese, dominate. Rare earth, that's the key for microchips. Who's the next one? The rest of the world. Look at China, y'all. When it comes to natural graphite, China is running everything. Manganese, China is everything a little bit for the rest of the world. Rare earth, that's probably arguably the most important is rare earth. And the rest of the world together has about maybe 20, not even 15%, and China's damn near close to 90%. So with South America, if they take that over and they create a supply chain, they are gonna try. They have to catch China. They got to catch China to overtake them. That's their plan. Well, God has something different. This is their plan in their mind. So y'all let's look at lithium. Lithium is big with batteries for electric cars. So Chile, look, Chile's in South America. Okay, Argentina, light blue. So now we start to see why it's making sense. So lithium, electric car production. If the United States controls that resource and expounds up, they can levelize it. Then you look at here, aluminum. China has almost 60%. Nickel, China still leads look, and then the last one is copper. Copper is huge. Electrical wires, China has almost 40%. This is as of 2023. So the U.S. rewrote their policy last month and said, we can't beat China. We have to create our own super America with our own supply chain and oppress the people for cheap labor over here. And guess what? Other than a couple of channels that you got to search for, nobody is talking about what's about to take place. We're ignorant. A lot of American blacks and Hispanic, we're very, very ignorant. So y'all stick around. We'll get ready to go to break. We'll be back with the second part of the show. Y'all stick around. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Why do you subscribe? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
Where is the strong black men that want to raise up their community? Why are we walking off after the woman? Why are we not standing up? Choose wisely. This is life or death. Y'all want to be another statistic, or y'all want to be a part of the revolution? I'm trying to save you, sis. I'm trying to guide you to your life. I'm trying to guide you to the
We are here at the Bayou Classic here in New Orleans. And we've been out here for about 2-3 hours. You know, one of the biggest things that I see, the numbers are down. You know, some people could credit it to the economy, but what it is that the word of God is being effective. Our people are starting to repent.
Y'all know we've been coming out here for years, man. One of the biggest problems we got with our sister today is y'all dress code. Sis, you can't say we publicly humiliating you for calling out your shame. And I'm gonna tell you who we get this behavior from, mostly Christians. These are Christians that come with this type of behavior everywhere we go. It's no type of shame whatsoever. Hey y'all, we gotta bring shame back. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.
No, that's because Jesus Christ was what they called not nobody.
Let us speak the whole man of God.
You are not African American. You are the children of Israel.
I'm gonna give respect where respect is motherfucking due. No, that's
Shalom Israel. Most High Christ bless. Why do you subscribe? IUIC New Orleans, subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. Help us to grow. Comment, like, share. What's going on? Make it happen.
Where is the strong black men that want to raise up their community? Why are we walking off after the woman? Why are we not standing up? Choose wisely. This is life for them. Y'all want to be another statistic, or y'all want to be a part of the revolution?
I'm trying to save you, sis. I'm trying to guide you to the light. I'm trying to guide you to the light, sister.
We are here at the Bayou Classic here in New Orleans. And we've been out here for about 2-3 hours. You know, one of the biggest things that I see, the numbers are down. You know, some people could credit it to the economy, but what it is that the word of God is being effective. Our people are starting to repent.
Y'all know we've been coming out here for years, man. One of the biggest problems we got with our sister today is y'all dress code. Sis, you can't say we publicly humiliating you for calling out your shame. And I'm gonna tell you who we get this behavior from, mostly Christians. These are Christians that come with this type of behavior everywhere we go. It's no type of shame whatsoever. Hey y'all, we gotta bring shame back. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.
Where is the strong black men that want to raise up their community? Why are we walking off after the woman? Why are we not standing up? Choose wisely. This is life for them. Y'all want to be another statistic, or y'all want to be a part of the revolution?
I'm trying to save you, sis. I'm trying to guide you to the light. I'm trying to guide you to the light, sister.
We are here at the Bayou Classic here in New Orleans. And we've been out here for about 2-3 hours. You know, one of the biggest things that I see, the numbers are down. You know, some people could credit it to the economy, but what it is that the word of God is being effective. Our people are starting to repent.
Y'all know we've been coming out here for years, man. One of the biggest problems we got with our sister today is y'all dress code. Sis, you can't say we publicly humiliating you for calling out your shame. And I'm gonna tell you who we get this behavior from, mostly Christians. These are Christians that come with this type of behavior everywhere we go. It's no type of shame whatsoever. Hey y'all, we gotta bring shame back. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.
Hey, welcome back, Precept upon Precept. Those of you just tuning in, or those of you who are with us, valuable Venezuela, Babylon the Great in Descension, more to the story. Pull up, let's finish out, go to the second timestamp of geopolitical, y'all. This is a good source of information, okay? This, I don't, he might not be Esau, but if he is, he tell on Esau, okay? I think it starts at 7:01.
Sphere. This is why the Trump administration is so obsessed with controlling Latin America and why it is bringing back the 200-year-old colonial Monroe Doctrine, essentially declaring that all of Latin America is part of the imperial sphere of influence of the U.S. empire.
So
this is why U.S. government
pause real
officials...
quick. So Trump has something to do with it. So instead of the Monroe, it's the Don Roe. Get it? Donald Trump, Don Roe Doctrine. And he is literally, I'm telling y'all, we predicted this about in the beginning of his presidency. First it was Greenland. He wanted to wage a war with Greenland. Then it was Canada. He kept pushing. They said Canada will never be a 51st state. He was pushing that thing hard. Golden Dome, if you don't, you got to pay to play. If you become the 51st state, it's a great state. I love Canada. It's great. It's big. It's cold up there. It's very cold. I love it, though. He was talking about Canada. Then he had the whole thing with the woman, the female president from Mexico, about how they're going to send the Delta Force down, Tier 1 operators to fight the cartel of Mexico. And now Venezuela. All of this is to take a giant position on all the landmass for the entire Western Hemisphere in control of America. Why? Because China has too much power. They want their whole supply chain. So that's the premise of what they're talking about, okay?
have been referring to this as the Don Roe Doctrine. And as I will show in the analysis today, the 2025 National Security Strategy repeatedly invokes the Monroe Doctrine in explaining the U.S. empire strategy in terms of Latin America. And by the way, I should also point out that it was very clear that Latin America would be a top priority for Trump's foreign policy when he appointed the longtime neoconservative war hawk Marco Rubio to serve as his Secretary of State, running the State Department. Rubio is from Miami, Florida, and he has dedicated his entire political career to trying to overthrow the left-wing governments in Latin America, especially...
Pause. It's not an accident. This guy has been groomed up in his political career because they were groomed, I guarantee they were funding him as well, to use a face, a Cuban face, to do their dirty work. And as long as he got some millions of dollars and he got power and he set up and people praise him wherever he goes, that's a tool. He's a tool. They're using this guy. And I don't know. I think his pops, he may be Israel. Remember we had a question about before. We didn't know if we thought it was Israel. He may be our people.
He damn sure got the traits of it, Cap.
Yeah.
He damn sure got the traits of it. To be Latin American. And then
we did. So the tech nerds are saying this guy is Jake. He's an Israelite. Wow. Hey, man. Marco Rubio, repent. Use your position of power to help the Israelites. They're going to use this guy. So that's his pops. Yeah, they bright skinned, but I mean, He may be. I don't know. I don't know. He looked like that. I'm not gonna. We'll just leave it alone. But he may be an Israelite. Yeah, definitely, possibility. So go back to geopolitical.
Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. And in fact, during Trump's first term as US president, when Trump launched a failed coup attempt in Venezuela, Rubio was lobbying Trump to launch an invasion of Venezuela. And Rubio was not in Trump's first administration, but now not only is he in Trump's new administration, but Rubio is in fact the second most powerful person in the US government after Trump himself, because Trump also appointed Rubio to simultaneously serve as the national security advisor, meaning that Rubio is among just two people in US history who have simultaneously served as both the head of foreign.
And y'all, even though a lot of us are young in this, there's a name in history called Henry Kissinger. Huge name, Kissinger. He was very powerful at the time. Kissinger was the Secretary of State, and and the young man's gonna say it, and he was the national defense advisor, the chief national guy. Marco Rubio is the second person in American history, and he happens to be a so-called minority. Why would you bring someone on well, maybe if you're trying to take over all of Latin America, maybe you got someone that could communicate in that language. Maybe you got someone that can get on the ground and set up people behind the scenes to do the U.S. bidding, and you have a first-hand eyes on the ground. The guys from Miami's pops from Cuba. Donald, these people know what they're doing.
You know what? Can I get 2 Maccabees 4 and 7? He need a Heliodorus ass whooping. That's what he need. He need a angel to come down from heaven and just beat the snot out of this dude because of what he's doing against his own people. Watch, because that's why I said even if we didn't know, even if it wasn't confirmed, his actions are indicative of a traitor of Israel. Read that.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and verse 7. But after the death of Seleucus, when Antiochus, called Epiphanes, took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Onias.
So you could say when Trump took over America, Marco Rubio, go ahead.
Jason, the brother of Onias, labored underhand to be high priest.
Labored underhand to be high priest. He wanted political power. Go ahead.
Promising unto the king by intercession 360 talents of silver.
Giving him favors, giving him promises, making sure that, hey, whatever you need, I can get it for you. Go ahead.
And of another revenue, 80 talents. Besides this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place of exercise.
So here, during the Maccabees time, he sold his people out for a gymnasium. Marco Rubio selling his people out for money and political power. He is about to turn on all Latin America just so he can have power. That is the number one sign of a traitor that you can read in the scriptures where you sell your people out for white folks.
Hey, pull up Ted Cruz. I think his pops might be Esau, but they use names. I think Ted Cruz does speak Spanish. So you got Marco Rubio, you got Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is a famous, matter of fact, he was getting dough from AIPAC. He was getting money. He was on that list that we pulled. So he's the same age as, born in 70, same age as Rubio. Children.
Rafael Edward Cruz is an American politician and attorney serving as the junior United States Senator from Texas since 2013. A member of the Republican Party, Cruz was the Solicitor General of Texas from 2003 to 2008.
Hey, scroll up. Hit Rafael Cruz's father. Rafael Cruz, you see parents? There you go. And I want to see if we get an image. Ted Cruz's father. He might be, I don't know. Speckled bird, we don't know. The
Yeah,
point is that
you got a nigga nose.
you might. Hey, do me a favor. Look up real quick. Look up. Ted Cruz? Does he speak Spanish? I'm gonna tell you right now. Watch this. They're gonna raise this dude Ted Cruz up in the next years to come. If you type in Ted Cruz, does he speak Spanish or? Oh, he doesn't speak Spanish. Fluent. Okay. He acknowledges Spanish skills are poor. Okay. Interesting.
No.
All right. But
Okay.
go ahead.
No.
No, we cool. We cool. I was just looking at something. Come on, go back to the geopolitical, and then we're gonna move on because we got a bunch more, and we're running out of time.
Policy, the Secretary of State, and the head of national security policy, the National Security Advisor. The only other person in U.S. history who has held both positions at the same time was Henry Kissinger.
Pause. Even though this is before our time, right before I was born, pretty much, Nixon, this guy, when you read about Richard Nixon, he took a hard fall. And I am not a crook. The whole thing with Watergate, Kissinger, that was his right-hand guy. And I'm going to tell you something. That guy's name is still brought up, Kissinger. Marco Rubio is the second guy, and I don't think y'all understand. You don't give a Latino dude the second most powerful position in the U.S. government unless you have something you're going to use him for. I'm just telling you right now, you watch the next coming years. That's why, Lord, I hope we all get our spirit right till Christ come back and destroy this kingdom. Because I'm going to tell you right now, most are going to make it hard for the 10 tribes. They'll make it real hard for them. All right.
Cal, I had to look it up. So it says in the United States federal government, Secretary of State refers to the official responsible for executing the non-military and non-homeland security aspects of foreign policy. He is responsible for enforcing foreign policy, everything except military. That's a lot of power. And he's doing it outside of the states. So everything that Trump wants to do, Rubio is at the forefront of it. He's the tip of the spear to make everything happen outside of the states. So everything that's happening in Venezuela, Marco Rubio is going to be involved.
He's going to be involved, and your boy Pete Hegseth. They changed the name to Department of War. Speaking of that, pull up number 5. This is a short video, war crimes, and watch this. This is another guy. This guy's name is Clinton. He talks about finance, but he does also some geopolitical. Number 5. It's a whole short video. I don't think that's number 5. It is 5. Okay, play it.
Clayton, the thing is that this double strike is very, very serious, and it looks like an admission of war crimes.
So from a libertarian perspective, a legal perspective, what authority does Secretary of War, the President of the United States, have to carry out these extrajudicial killings of these narco boats off the coast of Venezuela? Like, just from a legal perspective, what authority do you think they have?
Well, they're non-combatants, even if they were carrying drugs, and we've seen no proof they are carrying drugs. But even if they were, they're not combatants according to the laws of war. And it's ironic because the same people who rightly criticize President Obama for his drone strikes, his drone strike Tuesdays, who am I going to take out this week, are silent on this or encouraging it. And in fact, Clayton, the thing is that this double strike is very, very serious, and it looks like an admission of war crimes.
So real quick, when they say double strike, basically what they're saying is they actually struck a vessel. There were 2 people that they saw that were clinging to the boat. Rather than send the Coast Guard out or a task force to rescue them, they fired upon shipwrecked people. I'm going to tell you, and nothing's going to happen to the U.S. government. Just like nothing's going to happen to Benjamin Netanyahu for his mass destruction. They kill and they hold themselves not guilty. This is how we know. This is why Christianity is a waste of time. For you not to think the Bible is not going to talk about the atrocities of this earth, you're in a bubble. Everyone, God loves everybody. You're stupid. Okay. Okay. Let's move on of here. I think I got to skip this. No, matter of fact, pull up Madero. Number 7. Number 7. I think this goes into the same thing about the vessel. 6 ships. Okay, yes. Okay, so I didn't realize. So, no, somebody put this up. Micah, was this you? Bring it out. This is excellent. I didn't even know about this. Pull it up. Bring it out, Micah. Officer Micah.
Scoop. Trump sanctions Maduro's nephews. 6 ships carrying Venezuela oil.
So I didn't get to read it earlier, but it's a pretty good read. He put a sanction on the ships for the oil. Initially, he was talking about he was over there for the drugs. We got to stop the drugs. The drugs are coming in. We got to keep the drugs out of America. Now, all of a sudden, he's turned his focus to the oil. Watch.
The Trump administration Thursday imposed new sanctions on 3 nephews of Venezuelan.
Stop real quick. Is that today?
Scroll back
This
up to
Thursday.
It's I think it was the 10th. Let me see.
Okay. Well,
it was 11 hours ago.
Yeah, okay, 11 hours
this
ago.
happened
11 hours ago.
today. Y'all can understand something. This happened today. He's not dealing with he's attacking Maduro's sons. Obviously, they got money. Trump has his sons. They got a bunch of businesses and money. They're sanctioning his sons' vessels. You can't make this up. I'm gonna tell you right now. Nothing's gonna happen to them. Nothing's gonna happen to them. Carry on.
The Trump administration Thursday imposed new sanctions on 3 nephews of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro, a businessman close to his regime, and 6 companies shipping its oil.
Just read why it matters.
Okay, why it matters. The new sanctions to be announced by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent are the latest aspect of President Trump's pressure campaign on Maduro, who the administration has accused of leading a narco-trafficking terrorist organization.
So is he putting the drugs in the oil? Is he putting the drugs in oil? That's why I was reading this. I said, hold on, that don't sound like it makes sense. So you sanctioning, you stopping the oil from coming out of there. Is the drugs in the oil?
Hey, Kev, you said earlier the same thing they said with Iraq, weapons of mass destruction.
Yep.
And to your point, they never found weapons of mass destruction. So after they go through all the oil refineries, or the limited ones, and the ships that carry the oil, if they don't find any drugs, what'd you go there for?
Well, that's what they do, Cap.
It's crazy.
So they got oil. Now they got drugs. Okay, so now we have to seize the oil and the oil plants to look for drugs.
You can't make it up. Esau got it. Esau could do whatever they want. So keep in mind. So y'all read this on your own. This just happened less than 12 hours ago. Go down to, let me see something. Number 8. Number 8 is a short timestamp. Okay.
Yes, it's words that are on there, but yeah, it got to be read out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's no sound? Damn
No,
it.
there's sound.
Okay.
There's sound, but it's
Oh, Spanish. Okay.
it's
Russian.
It's the words that you want to catch.
Okay, yeah. Here we go.
Russia's Putin war ready if Trump bombs Maduro. Putin Maduro in close contact as U.S. threatens airstrikes. U.S. could attack Venezuela at any moment now, report. Maduro also seeks help from good friends, China and Iran.
Maduro already has allies with his good friends, China and Iran. Go ahead.
So real quick, I just got something. There's a feed that probably all of y'all have on your phone. It's from the General. Tonight at 7:27 p.m. It says breaking news. President Trump says U.S. strikes in Venezuela will begin starting on land pretty soon. That's something that Donald Trump would tell. Y'all gotta understand something. Don't be surprised tomorrow or over the weekend if Venezuela is not attacked. They got a naval fleet there, which also Micah mentioned. They can launch fighter jets and helicopters right from that big giant floating city called an aircraft carrier. So y'all got this. Listen, and by the way, do me a favor. Type in number of U.S. troops stationed in Puerto Rico. There's a detachment of I train with them. There's a detachment of Puerto Rican Marines, and they're no joke. I went on exercises with them. I said, who the hell are these dudes? They had our uniforms on, crisp, tight, shine, blouse boots, and they speak in Spanish. We found they were Puerto Rican Marines, and they're on Puerto Rico, but they're part of the U.S. military. Damn.
The U.S. has significantly increased its troop presence in the Caribbean, with roughly half of over 15,000 deployed personnel stationed in Puerto Rico, totaling around 7,500 to 8,000 troops as of early December 2025, primarily for counter-narcotics operations and potential action against Venezuela, using bases like Fort Buchanan.
That's got to be an Army base. Right?
And airfields for logistic and staging alongside warships.
Wow. So y'all got to understand, they beefed it up within the last month to almost 15,000 troops. Listen, they have a force ready to roll. They got Navy, Air Force, Army, Marines, and I think they mentioned, well, they said Coast Guard, but they may have all branches of service out there. So this is a major operation that's going on, and y'all pay attention because this is going down. And I wouldn't be surprised if they already started hitting targets on land. So let's get out of this one. It's 11:15. It's 11:21. Go to I want McGregor. I want Mr. Colonel McGregor. Hey, can you post the link for the radio show? Some people are saying they did not receive the link. I know you probably did. Just post it again if you can. Post it on events and feast days and brothers group, sisters group. All right. This is redacted. Is this the one I wanted? Play this. Is this time stamped? Okay, this is today's. Okay, play this, and then this should be, yeah, I think McGregor comes on here. Play that.
Venezuela, new unconfirmed reports today that the CIA and U.S. Special Forces were outed, trying to basically capture or kill Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. All of this comes as the United States military now, according to the latest numbers, has 15,000 troops in the region, 11 battleships.
Hey, when you look at it,
Venezuela,
when you look at it, all of these moves are the same from one decade to another. That's the code that Esau lives by. From taking people's lands, they lie on them. Remember, they went to Venezuela. Y'all got it? Go ahead.
Venezuela, new unconfirmed reports today that the CIA and U.S. Special Forces were outed, trying to basically capture or kill Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. All of this comes as the United States military now, according to the latest numbers, has 15,000 troops in the region, 11 battleships. Probably that's very, very low and conservative number that we're hearing about. Colonel Douglas McGregor, host of the National Conversation, joins us again here on the show to talk about the latest developments. First of all, Colonel, good to see you. Let's talk about the CIA piece of this first. We know from our own reporting and confirmation here on this show that CIA has been actively involved in regime change operations there for many, many years. This is not a surprise at all. And we also know that the U.S. Special Forces have been...
a lot of us might not know. I had to research this. Type in CIA Special Forces Unit. The CIA actually has their own Tier 1 styled paramilitary unit, which they recruit from Delta Force and Green Team SEAL, which is the guys that killed, was it Bin Laden, the SEAL Team 6. These guys are like elite. Look at it. It says it right there. CIA Special Forces are primarily known as the Special Activities Center, SAC, previously Special Activities Division, SAD, responsible for covert, paramilitary, and political operations. These are the best, smartest language guys, and they go in and they work for directly. They don't have to answer to the U.S. military. They are their own special forces in the CIA. I didn't realize that till this last like 6 months.
Hey, Cap,
Bring
you
it
know
out.
who they are? That's the Jackals.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are the Jackals, because when it says political operations, that's overthrowing governments.
Now you got to
bring it out, Michael.
You got to keep reading. It tells you exactly what they do. It says for missions like sabotage, assassinations, and unconventional warfare, when diplomacy or overt military action isn't feasible. The Jackals.
So remind you, this is the thing. They're not getting Chuck that works an accountant and works his way up. They're taking, so when you look at, and those of you, I had to start studying this because I'm interested in it to know how is it that you have such a powerful military. You have the different branches of service: Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force, and now Space Force, whatever it is. But within the branches of service, like Air Force has a special warfare division where they have what they call PJs, which are pararescue. These guys are insane. Then the Army has 3 special ops. They have Rangers, which those guys are crazy. Like Nick Irvin is a Ranger. Then you have Green Berets. Then you have the Delta Force. Then in the Navy, you got the SEALs. And then you got SEAL Team 6, which is the special division of the SEALs. Then the Marines, you got the Marines, infantry, and you got MARSOC, which is called Marine Raiders. Then you got Coast Guard. You got anything, Philip? Nah, you ain't got anything.
Reflector vest.
Yes, Coast Guard. The Coast Guard has the reflector platoon. Now they probably, hey Philip, they probably got some too. I bet you the Coast Guard's got an elite boat launch division. No? Damn. But they got good food. They got real good food. But here's the point. The point is that the CIA, he's talking about the CIA. The reason why we know to go there is because we had to research it. When he says CIA, don't think of a guy in a suit and tie and glasses. Think of CIA special ops that recruit from the elite of the elite of the elite and send them in and teach them more language, teach them more strategy, and send them a set of orders. Mikael is right. These are the Jackals that Bishop has told us about. Send the Jackals in, okay? These Jackals are killers. Read, I play.
Been there, and in fact, clashing with the CIA in years past. I can confirm on this show that members of the U.S. Special Forces were killed in these clashes as a result of what the CIA did to them. So this is not new, but what is your take on this going after Maduro in the past 48 hours?
Well, it's turning into a clown show. The fact that we're here talking about it, it's public knowledge, and that we know it's failed is not a good thing. This is the sort of thing that if it is even remotely effective, nobody knows about it, Clayton. Right. Unfortunately, we failed at this task so many times. This goes back to Hugo Chavez. We have always wanted to replace the government in Venezuela.
We talked about Chavez. Do me a favor, type in, this is what got him killed. Type in Hugo Chavez, Bush smells like sulfur. Type that in. It's going to pull up a video. He started to take Venezuelan commerce and empower his people. Their economy was strengthened. This is like right during the bubble. I want to say like right during Obama, maybe it was right during the time of the end of the dumb Bush. Not the old Bush, but the dumb Bush, his son. At the end of his term, Chavez said this. And they killed him. And they said it was he died of some complicated BS.
And then they crashed the Venezuelan dollar in 2016, right?
Right.
After.
Yes. And it was worth nothing.
Nothing.
And this was a brother. This right here, I'm not saying Rubio's not. This guy right here, he looked like a native. He is a 10 tribe right here. And watch what he stood up against George Bush #2. Listen what he says.
I think that the first people who should read this book are our brothers and sisters in the United States, because their threat is in their own house. The devil is right at home. The devil himself is right in the house. And the devil came here yesterday. Yesterday, the devil came here. Right here.
So this was during George Bush, because Obama was in from 08 to 16 for 8 years. Remember that? So this is the second half of Bush's candidacy. And ever since he made that position, which I think he knew what was going to happen to himself, but he did so much for the Venezuelan country and for his people, and he was empowering, like Captain Matt, he strengthened the economy. And then 10 years to the date, almost later, Cap, you were saying earlier, you said that they
destabilized the Venezuelan dollar. Remember, in 2016, they was throwing their dollars in the streets. They couldn't even buy bread. So right after Obama left and Trump came in, or Biden came in, they destabilized Venezuela.
And you know, that's a heavy point you said. That was exactly when Obama was going out and Trump was coming in. You're right, because I remember that. That's a heavy point. Yeah. It happened 10 years to the day after that. And Clayton, the reason why I bring this up, because Clayton on Redacted talking to McGregor, they just mentioned about Chavez. So what does that tell you? They have had jackals and trying to wear out Chavez. They eventually got rid of him. They've been wearing down for many years, almost 20 years, trying to overthrow Venezuela. They were successful in destabilizing their economy in 2016. Now we're to put the same thing as Maduro. Maduro, actually, when you read, he was freely elected. They say he's the illegitimate president and that he is a man of the people. Maduro was in the cabinet with Chavez. He was loyal to Chavez. Okay? Play on.
Hey, Cap, I just got something. This to the Coast Guard. All right, this to the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard's elite units are deployable specialized forces, DSF, primarily the Maritime Security Response Team, MSRT, for counterterrorism, specializing in close quarters combat and rapid response.
So those might have been Coast Guard.
So they might have been Coast Guard.
Philip, Coast Guard has special operations. Now, I'm going to show you even you figure the Air Force. They call the Air Force the Chair Force. Even the Air Force has PJs and CCTs, but the Coast Guard, those guys, if they were Coast Guard, they're special operations, these guys.
Mm-hmm. They didn't look too squared away.
Right.
I'm rolling with the Rangers. They didn't look too squared away.
Coast Guard. Hey, we're jealous. Hey, listen, Coast Guard, that is a small branch of service. It's hard to get in. You have to have high ASVAB, and especially in the officer side, Coast Guard Academy, that's another level. So, hey, those of us who served in the military, however short or long we did, we took lessons from Esau's military. But what we got to realize is Esau's military took lessons from the Bible.
Yep.
The Roman legions, the Greco-Roman Empire, we had armies and tribes before the Babylonian army, before the Assyrian army. We had an army that was organized. So never, we talk about and reference the U.S. military just because some of us have experience, but we're not saying it is the end-all be-all. We're just using it for these times. Play on. We're going to get ready to close out soon.
With a government that would do what we want. And what do we want from the government of Venezuela? Well, not only do we want access to the numerous resources, the oil, the gas, the gold mines, the emeralds, lithium, rare earths and the rest of it.
Pause. Remember the chart that we pulled up on the other chart from the other article. McGregor is saying the same thing. It is rich in all, not just Venezuela. Brazil is an immense country. Guyana, they're going to come for that. They want to come for the whole coast. Pull up the map of South America. The level of resources that this continent has that is untapped is similar to Africa. There's some big cities there, but nothing, it's not populated like utilizing the supply chain that it could. Like it doesn't have advanced, they said 300 billion barrels of oil, but they're not extracting even a fraction of that. Look at the coastline. You got Colombia's coast, all of Venezuela, Guyana, you got Suriname, you've got French Guyana. Look at Brazil. The coast in Brazil alone is, listen, that Brazil's going to be next. Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia. Well, that's not the coastline. Scroll down.
Hey, Cap, that's how you know Esau is the damn devil, because all of the people that live in those places, they live off the land. Their mind is not on, hey, let me destroy the ground so I can get the gold or the bauxite underneath it. They're eating and living off the land. Like that's what they do. It's Esau to come in with all the destruction and greed and murder and rob and rape and pillage. That's what they do.
Facts. And like I said, we talked about the untapped resources in under the ground and above ground. Esau is going to create, now type in the whole Western Hemisphere, the map of the Western Hemisphere again. Again, when it says Venezuela, pull up the thumbnail of the show real quick, because I want y'all to understand. And tech team's doing a pretty good job tonight. I want you to understand, Venezuela, valuable Venezuela, represents a takeover of the entire Western Hemisphere. And if you pay attention, if you watch our show, we covered Greenland. There was it was for weeks they were talking about it. There was the Esau in the U.S. was beefing with Esau in Denmark. Then Canada, it was nonstop, week after week after week. 51st state, the trade wars with Canada, all these different things. It was getting heated. Then Mexico with her name is Claudia. I forget the president of Mexico's name. First female president. They were going back and forth, back and forth. Trump he's very strategically positioning the United States to control the entire Western Hemisphere, to set up a supply chain to strip, rape, and rob the lands of Central and South America. And don't get me wrong, he gonna do other stuff. He gonna the Arctic Circle. He gonna deal with all of that. There's minerals up in Canada as well. By the way, just if you look at Canada, right? Canada, 80%. That's fine. You're good. 80% of Canada lives within 50 miles of the U.S. border. It's a fact. It may be 75, 85%. It's a huge percentage lives very close to the U.S. border. A lot of it is hard to extract, but that's a huge landmass, and there is minerals there. And guess what's happening? It is getting slightly warmer up there. The Arctic areas, those shipping lanes are freeing up. You see that the Arctic Circle, where it says the Beaufort and the Baffin Bay and Hudson Bay, those waters, historically, you haven't been able to go. A lot of that channels are breaking up, and they want to be able to control those shipping lanes. That's what they're using it for. Hence, you control Greenland, you control Canada, you can control that whole alleyway. Esau knows exactly what he's doing, and he's preparing for a global war. So, listen, y'all, we hope that, as a matter of fact, get me, oh gosh, not Revelation. Get me, I just slipped my mind. Revelation chapter 18. We're getting ready to close out about 5 minutes, y'all. Revelation chapter 18. Actually, hold Revelation 18, get Isaiah 14, and then go to Revelation 18. Because what's happening right now is all these countries that are being oppressed, all these nations that the United States have oppressed, there's going to come a time when they're going to be, is this the man? Is this the man? Isaiah 14, let me see, verse
16.
Yeah, that's, please.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 16. That they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble?
Pause. Go up to verse 12.
Verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation?
So does that mean Lucifer is the guy that's weakening Yemen? Lucifer is weakening Oman and Saudi Arabia and weakening the South American? No, that's talking about the so-called white man. He's Lucifer. He's the man in verse 16. It says, they that see thee. So they see Lucifer? No, they see Babylon the Great. Read on. I'm sorry, 16. Jump to 16 again.
Verse 16. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
Come on.
And consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Because what's happening to Babylon the Great is they did shake kingdoms. From 1945, when the World War II ended, they had global monopoly of power over the whole entire earth. Now with China and Russia rising up and even Iran and other countries, guess what? They are now realizing that their fall is beginning. Their empire is beginning to crumble. So what they're doing is they're trying to take over one side of the earth and make their last stand. Babylon is falling, y'all. We're living in the last days. Revelation 18. We're almost done. Revelation 18. Let me hear verse 9.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Right. So, but before the judgment can come, when you go up to verse chapter 2, 18 and 2, right? 18 and verse 5. Before her judgment can come, her sins are going to reach to heaven. Isaiah saw as, he said, Lucifer, he says, is this the man that weakened the nations? Read verse 4.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
So as this happens, we pray the Lord have mercy. We hope that our people's sins are acknowledged, and they realize that the reason why they're going through it is because they are the Israelites, because they're going to go through it. Where is the cheap labor? Where are the factories? Where is the people that's going to farm these rare earth minerals come from? It's going to come from our people. We better get ready. We better get ready. Read on.
And that ye receive not of her plagues.
Here's verse 5.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works.
So this whole chapter is going into Babylon being coming down. This United States of America is going to receive judgment when that time comes. But before judgment comes, they are going to fall. You are witnessing right now. The United States is $38 trillion in debt. The dollar is worth less and less every day. The United States is shifting power away from, they're pulling out of the Ukraine war and shifting power to make their last stand in the Western Hemisphere. Y'all, prophecy is coming to light. We as the Israelites, we got to do more than that. Listen, you got to work on you. I got to work on me. He's got to work on him. We got to get this. We got to get it right. And this is why it's a rehearse the righteous acts. It's a rehearsal, okay? And some of us fall short, but we got to get the hell back up and keep pushing. So with that, we're right on time, 11:44. Let's look up at the Booster Club one more time. We keep pushing it. We're never going to stop pushing it. 12 tribes worldwide donate to the Booster Club. You can text GIVE, give to 646-982-3858, or you can take out your phone as the Most High move your heart. Click on the PayPal code on your phone and make a donation. Send the profits to mission number 250, mission number 350 until Christ come back. So that's it, y'all. We right on time, almost exactly 2 hours in. We didn't get to a lot back. We didn't do anything today. We gotta go back to the format of Officer Yasser does his book club, and Cap, until you gotta come through. We bring back Kingdom music and everything.
Cap,
come through.
I got something new.
You got something new? Plug it. Plug it.
Come back with something new.
I'm
gonna have a segment from we ain't gonna do Kingdom music. I'm gonna have a segment called Godly Discourse.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna have Watchman Report. We're gonna have Officer Yasser's book review, Captain Matt's Godly Discourse, and then if we have time, we'll throw in the fat jokes with Lard Back Attack. So
we gotta have a Lard back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a lot of brothers in IUIC that I'm hearing that a fat acceptance movement is being generated throughout the ranks. I'm dead serious. You got fat people crying and complaining about not getting a fair shake when they've had 16 months.
Wow.
This guy's in 16 months haven't even lost 10 pounds.
So you know what that means? I think that Cap needs reinforcements on the fat shaming front. We got you, Cap.
All praise to the Most High. Greensmen, stand up and take your place in the earth. And with that, brothers, we are Precept Upon Precept. And with that, y'all, we say shalom.
Shalom. You're never going to see this on any mainstream news.
This ain't what you want, this is what you need. Yeah, they made us slaves, hung our kids from trees. Nooses on our neck, whipped us till we bleed. And they gotta get it. Hey man, calling Galatians 3:13.
You're now tuned in to Precept Upon Precept.
Crew so strange. Look at how low they hang. Oh man, took out the chains. So when the wind blow, we just swing. Much oppression never kill us. Drinking dreams and it's bitter.